All right. So we just got done Dune. Good bit to talk about. One, probably gonna ask my opinion as to which one I prefer, whether that is, either 2016, Eternal, Dark Ages. So far, I'm at Eternal, 2016. Sorry. I'm at Eternal, Dark Ages, then 2016. In terms of story, I really do think the story was incredible. I think, I mean, it was. I think the story was incredibly well put together. I do wish that they led further into 2016. There's probably going to be DLC to lead into that, kind of like how they did with Eternal. But I do wish that the baseline story kind of led further into it. Um, the music, be honest, the game desperately is missing Mick Gordon. By far, without a doubt, the game is desperately missing Mick Gordon. The new band that did the OST, I mean, they did all right. The problem is, and I expressed this when I was streaming as well, or when I was live. There was a lot of moments in the game where it was just completely dead silent. I honestly thought it was bugged, and I actually reset the game because I was like, why is it so quiet? So that in itself is kind of a bummer, to be quite honest. And it does affect how I feel about playing the game because the music is such a big deal. So, I really do think that they missed the ball in terms of the OST, because when you played Eternal in 2016, there was rarely any parts where it was silent like that. So it really did put a damper on things, to be quite honest. Gameplay wise, I was talking to my friends about it, just kind of giving them my idea as I played through the game. Gameplay wise, I would say it is like a very slight notch under Eternal. The problem is that the game takes so long to get to the point to how fun Eternal felt to play. It takes so long to get to that point. The game does have a lot of inputs, so in order for you to get to the points where like you're kind of just cruising and coasting, and you can combo here and there, I feel like the gameplay is one. I do feel like the gameplay is a lot more engaging than Doom Eternal in terms of actually engaging with the enemies versus with the melee, with the fist, the flail, the mace, the shield bashes, the shield dashes, the sprints, things of that nature. I do feel like the game is a little bit engaging, putting your face up against them. But I do feel that the game just takes way too long for you to get to that point of feeling like, okay, this is fucking badass. This feels really good to play. Like I'm not gonna say the upgrade system is a damper. But for instance, for you to get, I personally felt like it took too long for you to get the shield runes, because I feel like the shield runes is what really turned the gameplay up a lot. When you first got that Tremor shield rune, that was it. Like, that was when it was like, okay, now I'm really, really, really starting to get into the game. And then after you get the Tremor, you get the daggers, and then after the daggers, you get the turret, which is what I used. And then after the turret, you get the lightning shocks. Once you got those, that's when I felt like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. Like for instance, the turret. Once I got the turret fully maxed out, and I was, and I was using that, and all that. For one, it finally felt like the parrying projectiles was worthwhile. I feel like with how much I really felt like with how much projectile and how much what is that bullet hell this game is, you should have gotten the shield runes. Not gonna say immediately, but you should have gotten the shield runes when you've gotten the mace. So that I'm not gonna lie, it did kind of suck because it's like, okay, you finally get your first shield rune somewhere around the middle of the game, or a little bit past the middle of the game, and then like for the first fucking 12 14 stages, you're like, okay, so this is what I was missing this whole time. And then once you get your first one, you're getting them back to back to back. So I really do feel like that this game took a lot to get going. Another thing that I didn't really truly enjoy a ton, and I don't know if they just did it mechanically or what, I did not like how slow it took for you to change weapons. At all. And maybe this is just me because I enjoyed Eternal so much and everything was just so snappy. Everything felt like Eternal was perfect to me. Everything felt great. Everything was snappy. Everything was quick. Everything was, in your face there. If you wanted something to happen, it did it instantly. Meanwhile, this game, obviously they wanted to slow it down and things of that nature. But I felt like, once again, when you got going, that's when things should have gotten faster. Because, you jump off a cliff and there's so much on the field. And it's like, okay, I see a whole bunch of energy shield guys. I want to use my energy gun. All right, well, you would kill one big mob with the super shotgun, and then it's like by the time you get to go to kill the energy shield ones, once you get the shield upgrade to where it bounces off the shields, it's like there's no point, and then they're already dead. And then, and at that point, it's like, okay, so then what's the fucking point of me even investing in the rest of these guns? If it's like, if swapping the weapons is so slow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm putting it into the right words, but I just really feel like swapping the weapons and them being swapped so slow just kind of interferes with actually engaging with the other weapons. Because as you can see, or if you did watch, throughout the whole entire game, once I got the super shotgun, that's all I used. Really, that's all I used. And then in the boss fights against Azrak, I used the Reaper, or was it the Reaper, the Shredder, or whatever, the smaller version of the bone shotgun, of the bone gun. I would use that against boss fights, but even then, like, that was like the only time where I really felt like swapping weapons was a must. Because I really did feel like swapping weapons, you had to basically prep when you need to swap weapons. Or when you should use the weapon. Which, I mean, sure, people might like that, but in a game like this, I really do feel like it needs to be snappy. It needs to happen when you want it to happen. And if it doesn't, then there's no point. Meanwhile, comparing to Eternal, if you want it to happen, you want it to happen. You wanted to use a super shotgun, you use it. You wanted to use the fucking the chain on the shotgun to move around, you can use it. You wanted the wire in there, swap to a sniper, kill him, swap to the BFG, wipe the map. All of these things happened in an instant, and it just felt so good. And I really do feel like that this game should have never notched it and took it down so much as they did. Another thing that I didn't really, I mean, I liked but I didn't like was the melee weapons, right? I understand that the melee weapons are there to be like fit your kind of play style, but at the same time, Once you get the Dreadnought Mace, that's it. Like, there is no other reason to use any other one, I feel. Because, for instance, when you kill the brain spider boys, and I don't know the fucking names of all the monsters, but when you kill the brain spider boys and you kill the ones that are armored, one shot with the Dreadnought Mace, it's done, it's gone. Now, granted, it takes a while for it to recharge, but it recharges so quick when you parry. It's like there's really no point to use them. And I think I'm slowly getting to the point to where this game, the progression of this game, like the game wants you to make a choice on playstyles, but I feel like I really don't even know how to put this into words. Like, the game wants you to progress, but at the same time, once you get the weapons, it's basically like you're set. Like you should just use them because they're so good and they're so strong. You should just use them. It doesn't make any sense as to why to not use them, right? So I don't know. But other than that, I really just feel like the game is really fun. I do feel like also another thing why I really like Eternal as well is because this game, you should have had a hub. Should have had a hub with the dragon, to where you can go and view all your collectibles, stuff like that, like they did in Eternal. Because you go around, you collect all these collectibles, but there's never a point where you can actually go and look at them like that. I mean, it's minute details that they worked into Eternal that I wish he would have worked into this one, especially being in the next gen one. The longevity of the game wasn't all there, right? You know, like I respect them making them semi-open world, but at the same time, they only made it semi-open world. And if you're a completionist and you want to upgrade all your weapons, sure, but if you got to the point to like for instance with me, where you know everything that I like to use that fit my playstyle was upgraded, I had no more incentive to go. I had no incentive to go out and search and look around. There was none. So I feel like that they made the maps bigger to stretch the game out, but it was they could have just made the game longer. Like for instance, what is my playtime in this one? Playtime in this one's 13.2 hours. My playtime in Eternal, 22.4 hours. That is a 9-hour fucking difference in gameplay time. And that is just base game because I didn't do the DLC in Eternal. That is just base game. That is crazy. And especially it's especially crazy for the price tag. So, and it's like, and actually I just looked at it because I'm playing it on Game Pass. 22 hours is for a 100% completionist. I'm at 78%. So I'm really not that far off. So, and I can't see it taking me another 7 hours to go back and 100% this game. Sorry, another 9 hours to go back and 100% this game. It's no. So, for the longevity of the game, no, it was not worth the $70 price tag. But I have a feeling it's because they're gonna work up and they're working it up into these big, huge DLCs, which kind of sucks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, and I understand, you know, the quality of the game shouldn't the length of the game shouldn't dampen the quality, which it isn't. But you know, to put a value per hour, no, this game is not worth the $70 price tag for 13 hours. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For a 70-hour game, you should be at least getting 30 hours to be comfortable. Period. Another thing I didn't like as well, comparing to Eternal, once you completed a map, you went back to the hub. There was none of this fucking like early 2000s level switch that this game had. I don't know why they did that, because if you misclick, they sent you to the beginning. And how fucking stupid is that for you to have for you to go straight back to the beginning of the game, to have to load your save back up, to then pick your stage, to then be able to start the game. Like, it should be complete the game. Either you go directly into the next stage, or you go to a hub. You don't fucking complete a stage and then you go to like this stage selector screen, like from the early 2000s, to then select the next stage to progress. That was fucking retarded. I don't know why they did that, but that was fucking stupid. It was stupid. It's dumb, stupid. We are in the big 2.5. This game should have been a continuous thing, and then if you want to go back, then you go back to the menu and you select it. I don't know why they did that like this. Like I don't know why it brings you back to the chapters. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why they did it. They should have never did it. It was stupid. Whatever. So, yeah. But all of the issues that I have with the game, yes, are nitpicks. But, you know, being a big Doom fan, the good ever so slightly overcomes the bad. In terms of quality, right? I mean, the gameplay, fantastic. The OST, good for what it is. The flow of the game, fantastic. The boss fights, fun. Power mechanics, fun. Enemy engagement, fun. The semi-open world stuff, pretty cool. The Atlan/mech fights, really fucking fun. I'm not gonna lie, I do wish the quality of those fights were a little bit better than what they were. Honestly. Reason being is because you get into these Atlan fights and it's basically just a fucking linear path to get to the end. Those things should have been like a fucking all-out fucking war. So, a lot of people complain about them. I, for one, like them, but I do wish that they would have spent more time doing them. Reason being is because you spend these last two games looking at these things, looking at how big everything is. And then this game, you're finally able to use them. And then it's that. So, could they have been better quality? Yes. But were they still really fun and really cool? Yes. So, you know, and getting into things that are cool, the section of the game that I thought blew my mind was when you began to get into the cosmic realm of things. This section of the game was so cool. So cool. I loved every second of it. Everything from the level design, from the OST, from the new enemy, from the new enemy design that you encounter. Everything. I loved it. It was so cool. And I was actually so surprised for it to be so cool, because the only thing that they really advertised about it was the Cthulhu fight, or the old one, whatever you want to call them. So to see this, especially when you get into the marshes, that was all really, really, really cool. And I actually spoke too soon when we got to the belly of the beast, because I really did feel like once you got swallowed by him and all you did to kill him was basically give him a fucking really bad tummy ache, I felt like that was so anticlimactic. I was actually really upset. But this redeemed it, because I literally said it. This should have been a mech fight. It should have been a mech fight. We did all that exploration, everything building up to him just to give him a fucking tummy ache. Fuck no. But when we got to the final battle, I was like, fuck yes. Fuck yes. So, yeah. So I really, so like the game really did have redeemable points, and that's why I felt like so much like the game took so goddamn long to get to that point. And I really do feel like for instance, Asmongold. I think Asmongold literally got past the first 3 stages, and then he kind of wrote it off. But it's like, bro, if we would have had the shield runes, if we would have had so much of this cool shit at the very beginning of the game, fucking hell, everybody would have been in it. But it's like, bro, it took so fucking long to get there. Like, let me see. This is 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. It took you basically up until stage 15 for you to get the BF, the BFC, the mace, and to basically finish out your shield runes. That's how long it took. And I think you get your first shield rune. Yeah, you get your first shield rune when you get to the siege. I actually want to say it's one of these. It's when you get your first shield rune. It's one of these. Sacred energy of the ancestral forge. That's it. Yeah. I want to say when you get to the ancestral forge, that's the first time you get your shield rune. And that is chapter 9. You have to play through all of this to get your first shield rune. 9 chapters to get your first shield rune, dude. Are you fucking serious? To get your first shield rune? Because this doesn't make no fucking sense. It's because you need Thera to activate the forge to get your shield rune, and then you basically cruise through and you find these cauldrons and you just dip your shield in, and next thing you know, you have a shield rune. What the fuck? That does not make any sense. You should have gotten a shield rune, not instantly, but you should have gotten a shield rune when you've gotten around here. But then your first 3 or 5 stages, you should have gotten your first shield rune. And then boom, people would be like, holy fucking shit, what else is there? So, like I said, I feel like the game took way too goddamn long to really get going, and that's why it's such a that's why it's such a considerable notch below Eternal, because it took so goddamn long to get there, to get to that point. So, but other than that, you know, the boss fights are cool. Story was cool. The voice acting was really cool. The characters were cool. I mean, the game was just cool, right? I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't like holy shit. I didn't really enjoy the dragon flying sequences. Honestly, didn't really like them. They were okay. The movement was really clunky. Is there anything else? I didn't really enjoy or didn't really like or did like? Not really. I know a lot of people said that they didn't like glory kills, and I landed on this. A lot of people didn't like the glory kills. My honest opinion on it, I think it's a non-issue. I think the way that the game was made, adding glory kills would have made it take longer. I really do feel like that the shield, that the way that the game flowed was really nice. I liked it a lot. So I liked it. It was whatever. I liked it. Yeah, it was all right. But on that note, honestly, I would say the game's an 8. It's a solid 8. It's a solid 8. It's not a 10 out of 10. Is a game of the year worthy? Fuck no. No. This game is not winning game of the year. Absolutely not. But it was a solid 8. Solid 8. So, but I appreciate you coming by to watch it. If you do watch it, I stream on Twitch, stream on my YouTube, drop by, whatever. I appreciate you coming. Thank you.